Hey guys, so today I'm going to be covering how to win games, aka the game modes, the point system, how to get points, how not to lose points, how to win games. So this may seem trivial to some, but it's very important, and it's very important to know these things because it lets you have that information you need to make the right calls, and the right call was what really can separate you from a bad player and can help you make the right calls in order to win the game for your team. And winning games means winning prizes, always very good stuff. So, there are two main modes of gameplay: Domination and Capture the Base. Now, each capture point in Domination, you gain 4 points every 9 seconds. In Capture the Base, it's 2 points every 6 seconds. But Capture the Base has only 1 control point per team, and Domination has multiple control points. Now, both these game modes can be won with points and by killing all the opposing team. Now, for Domination, there are a number of control points that, if captured, will help generate points to your team. And these capture points are essential for winning games, as points play a large role in winning games, as most games are won by points, not just by sinking the entire enemy fleet. Now, you can win a game of World of Warships by 4 ways in Domination, at least in Capture the Base is the 5th way. Killing the entire enemy team. Simple as that. Everyone knows this one. It's pretty basic, you know? Sink everyone else, there's no one else to fight. So, that's one way. Another way is by having your team reach 1,000 points. This is done by sinking ships quickly, capturing all the control points, and just not losing any ships either, because when you lose ships you lose points. But I'll get more into that later. So, having 1,000 points, sinking the entire team, having the enemy team points reach 0, that's a hard one to do, but it's possible. That is winnable. That's our way to lose. And having more points than the enemy does when the timer reaches 0. Games in World of Warships are 15 minutes long, so you have 15 minutes to gain more points than the enemy, even if no ships were sunk. If you have a greater point gain, then you've won. So yeah, the amount of points you have can determine the best course of action for you and your team. From simply just running away, or pushing the advantage, or having to make bold, risky moves in order to win the game, to turn the tide in your favour. So, it's very... points really debate how you play the game effectively. This is what I'm trying to say here. Like, for this particular game here, on the Fantask, I am trying my best to take on control point C. I do not know what's there though. I now see a Cleveland there, but I already, in the previous bits there you saw, I got radared by the Cleveland / Wichita. It wasn't pretty, and I lost more than nearly half my health, maybe a quarter, maybe a bit less, but you know, nearly half my health. It wasn't pretty. It's a very dangerous and risky control point. I'm trying my best to take it though, and trying to be aggressive and push it, because I need to be, because if we don't do this point, then we're going to maybe slack behind. We still have a point lead a little bit, but it's going to change if they capture this point. They're going to have an even stake, even point generation. So I've got to do my best to try and... Oh, Benson didn't die. Fire no shot. Got to do my best to try, but there's 2 radar cruisers there, so I did not want to get closer. So unfortunately I cannot capture this base, but that is my goal. I need to try and get the points lead in order to win this game. Now, a bit more into points and point control. Now, capture the base, we'll transition to that real quick, is basically when you have 2 bases, one your team and one the enemy team. They're already pre-captured by your team. These bases, if flipped by the enemy, win the game automatically. Doesn't matter how many ships they have left. You could have 999 ships, they could have 1 ship, and you can have a full team. If they captured your base, that's it. Game over. So capture the base is really, really important. You need to be defending your base, otherwise there's just no way. You're going to lose. If you don't defend your base, you'll lose. People at the start of the game have captured bases without firing a single shot. I guarantee it's happened because I've done it as well. You need to be very careful about defending your base, and if you want to push their base you can, but you've got to make sure your base is safe. Now, without much further ado, I'm actually going to go into how to capture a base. There are control points over here around this map, particularly for this. I've been trying to go for control point Charlie here. What I would do to capture this base, I would sail into the capture circle here, and it would give me a timer, and if I stay in the control circle during the full duration of that timer, I will capture that base. I will control that control point. Control of this, the capture progress can be stopped, the timer can be paused, if an enemy ship enters the cap circle along with me. And control bases that appear below here can be contested and actually taken over when an enemy ship enters it and an ally ship is not present. So if the ally ship is present and an enemy ship is present, the cap becomes contested. They do not generate points, and until one of the enemy ship leaves. And if there's no friendly ship in that control point, when an enemy ship is there, the cap becomes contested as well, and it becomes slowly under the control of the enemy team if they wait at their timer. So when the control point is grey, as you can see that capture point Charlie, no one has captured that. When it's red and it's flat there, like a square there, like capture point Delta in this game, it means it's generating points for the enemy team. And if it's blue and it's square there, it means it's generating points for your team. If it's like the A cap here, it means it's being contested by both friendly and enemy ships, therefore it's not generating points. Though capture progress on either side is changed. Now you see A, there are no friendly ships, so it's being captured by the enemy. This is how control points work, and that's how they not generate points, and how they are flipped accordingly. Now, I'm going to transition here over to number of point gain by killing ships. You can gain points by killing ships. Now, the point gain is different for each type of ship. You lose 60 points for losing a friendly battleship, and you gain 40 points for destroying an enemy battleship. You lose 50 points for losing a friendly cruiser, and you gain 35 for sinking one. 45 points for losing a destroyer, 30 points for gaining a destroyer kill, for getting a kill on a destroyer. So killing ships also helps the points. That's why I'm saying point is essential for gameplay. You need to be on top of your team in point control. We have the point control here, you see this? But we have even gain of points actually. See how capture point A is being captured actually by the enemy team. There's no points coming from that control point. Capture point B, we are controlling control points here. We're controlling that and we're gaining points from it, but they're also gaining points from control point Delta. We just sunk an enemy Cleveland there. That is a cruiser, so we have gained points and they have lost points. You can see the difference there on the top middle part of the screen there. You can see this. We're going to lose his battleship there. You see the point gain there. Give you that. It tells you that. You can see the difference in point gain and point losing there. So it's important to understand these things, and you'll have better grasp of how the games go, how well you're doing in a game, how bad you're doing in a game as a team, and whether you need to be very careful about control points. You need to make the bold risk to capture the control point, or one of these things. At this point, I'm off to help my team over here. I would love to capture point Charlie, but there is a cruiser there, a radar cruiser there, and I have no support. I'm not looking too pretty for a cruiser to hit me, because they could definitely rip me a new one. And this particular destroyer, the French, do not have a smoke screen, so there's no protection for me besides my speed, which I'm using my very last speed boost now. So not a very great play to do, so I'm going to do my best to support my team over here. So this Amagi needs to go down because I need to gain the point system, and I also need to eliminate those guns from the fight. So I'm helping out whether I can. I'm running a speed boost, I'm going very quick. It's unlikely he can get a hit on me. There we go. He gets taken down. I need to stop shooting, really, realistically. I don't have the range for that Tashkent, and I'm going to defend this capture point. At the minute, we're gaining more points than the enemy is. You see this? They're getting control point Charlie, unfortunately, but we have Alpha and Bravo, so we're gaining more points. We have 170 point lead-ish, roughly. So we're doing fine here. I don't have to really be too aggressive. I can just stay around here and spot. Though we are losing ships there, you see that Bismarck is very low health. Trying my best to get near him and to activate his special skill. Maybe give him some heals, but I don't think he's... Oh goodness, I've been radared. It's not very nice, I've been radared. I need to get out of here very quickly. So I need to be very cautious here. He's heading me. I need to avoid this and get out of the fight. I don't want to die, because if I die, I'll give points to the enemy team. Plus I'm their only destroyer, but there's more into this. So sinking ships does help with this, and it's important to sink ships, but control points are guaranteed points no matter what you do. If you just sail around and do nothing, you're still going to gain points. Sinking ships isn't always a common thing, it's not always easy to do, depending on how well the player is against you, or how easy it's all up to RNG whether you sink a ship or not. It's up to the luck of you, if you fire your torpedoes at the right time, you fire your guns and you have to hit Citadel, if you aim correctly, if dispersion agrees with you, stuff like that. So it's very important to capture these control points whenever possible. Now, the person that captured control point Charlie is pushing up to control point Bravo and trying to flip that for their team, which is a very good call because they are behind on points by about 100-ish, about 100. So I need to do my best to prevent him from doing that. It is a Tirpitz, and it looks like he's actually avoiding the capture point, which is very... Now he's capturing. There we go. It tells you a warning in there. I was going to say that was very... in retrospect, he should have stopped firing and captured that control point. That would have been a safe bet for him if I wasn't already spotting him. There we go. I'm no longer spotting him because of the mountain. And he's capturing that control point. And so far that is a very good play. He's controlling, he's helping, he's reducing our point gain, our point lead. We are now behind in point gain. They're gaining twice as much as we are. Fortunately for us, this is a Tirpitz. It's a big, not very stealthy battleship, so he's very easy to spot. So I am off in this I'm off to capture point Bravo, to defend the cap, and to hopefully cause some damage to the Tirpitz as well. So yeah, he's actually left the cap control point, which is not a very good idea. He could be gaining much more points by staying in there, making sure he's contesting the point, and through that logic he would be gaining more points than we would be gaining. Therefore he'd be actually getting rid of our nearly 100 point lead. So fortunately for us, he left the control point, which was a bad decision on his part. This is the guy in tier 7. This is the second highest tier in the game. These mistakes are common. They're not a basic thing. If he understood that cap points here are very essential to winning this game, there's only 3 of us left per side. Not many ships. It would be more important for him to stay in control point Bravo and capitalise on that undefended cap than anything else. Fortunately, we've just lost another ship there. That was a battleship. So they've actually gained ahead of us on points. It would have been more extreme if the Tirpitz stayed in that cap, but fortunately for us, he did not. We are now down on points, and the point gain is even. 2 points per side. 2 control points per side. Unfortunately, I've not actually managed to capture a control point this whole game, unfortunately, but I'm doing my best to defend the points we have and keep our ships alive. There's only 2 of us left. It's 2v2 now. That Tirpitz is still pretty healthy, but half health. I need to try and get these torpedoes off and sink them soon, because unless I capture a point, if you look at the timer though, there's only a minute 30 seconds left, so it's really risky here. This is very dangerous here. I've been radared by the Wichita, because the Wichita has a radar, so I'm going to do my best to run away Fortunately though, the Turpitz isn't paying attention, the Wichita's not paying attention, he's busy with another ship. I believe it's that friendly cruiser of mine. Turpitz is shooting at me. Fortunately though, he is a battleship, so dispersion is not very good sometimes. And he's also a German battleship, so it's a bit of a struggle. So I dodged his shots relatively easily, and this Turpitz unfortunately did not dodge my torpedoes. So he's out, and I've lost my cruiser, but as we know, we just figured out, a battleship is worth more points than a cruiser is. They're contesting capture point in Alva, but look at the timer. We are ahead because of that battleship kill. And because of that battleship kill, the minor point difference there, we gained effectively 100 points. We gained 40 for sinking it, and the enemy lost 60 for losing it. So, my plan of action now is not to chase down this enemy cruiser, the Wichita. It's better just to run. I should just run, because I have the point lead, and even with the time left, there's not enough time in this game for the point lead of ours to be overtaken. So, we've won this game because we kept an eye on our points and we tried our best to keep our point gain stable this opening. So, an example of when's not a good idea to push and when is a good idea to run away. This is the game where I got top spot here. I didn't do that much. I didn't do that much damage. 80k in tier 7 is quite low. I didn't manage to complete a cap. I didn't even manage to capture a base. All I did was defend our caps and sink one or two boats at the appropriate time. So this is a prime example of domination, how to control, how to get point gains, how to lose points, how to play, and how not to play. Point control is the only way to win games unless you sink every single enemy ship, which is not always the case. Point control, capture the base, be aware of these things, be aware of domination, be aware of these things. These are very important things. So without much further ado, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you for now.